मुझको सनम छोड़ ना देना मुझको सनम साथ निभाना अपना सजना सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया जीवन भर ये प्यार हमारा जीवन भर ये प्यार हमारा बन के रहेगा अपना सहारा टूट न पाए अब ये कसम टूट न पाए अब ये कसम प्यार न बदले अपना सजना सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया तेरा प्यार है दुनिया में तेरा प्यार है दुनिया में तू ना मिला तो मर जाऊंगी साथ रहे हम जन्म जन्म साथ रहे हम जन्म जन्म साथ न छूटे अपना सजना सजना मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया 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 मैंने तुझसे प्यार किया
Well, a very pleasant good evening and welcome to From Our Hearts with Radhika and Ken on Island Zone Radio. How you guys doing? I hope all is well with you. My good co-host, how are you doing? A very pleasant good evening to you too.
Good evening to you. I'm doing just fine. I'm doing rather fine this evening. It's mid-May already, right?
Correct,
Already,
correct.
by the time you blink, we'll be in Christmas already. But
Wow.
we're in mid-May and the flowers are blooming. And I have to
Yes.
say, you have a beautiful, beautiful garden
I love
outside.
it. I love it.
You have a beautiful
Thank you.
garden. I was looking at it and checking it out this afternoon as I came waiting on you to come home. But yes, happy May. We're in the middle of spring, I believe,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So it's a Monday evening. It's 8:30, and we want to wish all of you happy happy evening with us. And let's see. Welcome and thank you for logging on with us from our Hearts with Radhika and Ken on Island Zone Radio. We are ready to go. So, Ken, yesterday was really a special day for you, wasn't it? I want to say congratulations once again on a much deserved award for your dedication and service, right? For over, as a nurse, for over 37 years.
Right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. You started your career in Georgetown, Guyana, and then here in the United States of America, you went on to become a LPN,
Right, right.
right? And yesterday was so endearing to see you receive those
really?
awards
Oh.
and that certificate and the proclamation and see the love of the people around you. It was very, very it was a very touching, tender moment. You've worked so hard, and I know you have more than 25 awards. I know you have received much more letters of recommendations, certificates of recognitions, proclamations, and although you are a man of many hats, you're a radio host, you're a board judge, I think nursing is a born gift that you have
I
in your
think.
heart, right? Your love and care for those in need has no parallel. I just remember the other day when you came home, you were talking to me on the car, and you said, "Oh, I just passed this lady. She was sitting on on the stoop of her house, and she looked so sad. I wonder what is the matter with her." I said, and I told you, if you want to, go and see what's the matter with her, because knowing you, you won't rest until you know if you could have done something for her. And you're that kind of man, and I am very honored to be your friend, right? So I always say Ken has a smile that is bigger than his heart, right? The event yesterday was hosted by the Trinity Lutheran Church in New Hyde Park, right? And tribute was paid to a few nurses there.
Right, right.
They had about 15 nurses,
About
I would
12 or
say,
so.
12 or 15 nurses, yes, and that's including you. This event was a brainchild of our very own Devika George, right? I think
Absolutely.
everybody knows her by now. She has been our right hand in organizing our Women's Day and Men's Day event. She was in charge yesterday of the food, the raising funds for the awards, communicated with the awardees and the guests. I was amazed at how coordinated that event was. Everything was on time, on the dot, and ran so smoothly. You know, we can take a page off their book there with it,
Absolutely.
with, the way they ran everything. And the occasion was graced by the tongue of North Hempstead Councilman Dennis Walsh and by the tongue supervisor Jennifer Decina, right? It was beautiful, beautiful event, and I am so happy that you were honored in that event. Ken, I know that you have received so many awards, but yesterday was a special day. Tell us, how did you feel? How was it for you?
Well, thank you very much, Radhika. I've been blessed. I started my nursing career at a very young age. My first job actually back in Guyana. But and I was you right. I received all the awards there is in nursing at the hospital that I used to work. I worked there for 17 years, and it's always a good serene moment when you get acknowledged for the things that you do. But I have met a stage now in my life that I want to give back to the people because I know how good it feels to be acknowledged for the work that you do. But yesterday I stand there. I surprisingly I was little bit nervous and I had a good feeling because you know it was an award for Nurses Week and by some people who some great women and the church and from the church when you get acknowledged by the church it's a big thing.
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
Then
big deal.
God has His
Mm.
hands in things. But
Mhm.
so Devika Prasad and Anna Dev Prasad, and their church, I want to say thank you very much for that award. It was indeed special, and to get a citation too, and also, you know, what happened yesterday there. I saw a young girl, 25 years old. She was a registered nurse too,
Mhm.
and that really took my breath away because I like to see young people doing well in life. Um,
And her mom is a nurse
and
too for
Mars,
the
yes,
same time. That
yes,
seems the mom is 26 years old in the business,
business, yes.
and the girl, so that was amazing.
So yeah, it was a good feeling, and I thought I thought to be honest with you, some place I work now they don't acknowledge nobody, they don't give nobody nothing, or you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying. But I want to say thanks for that award. But it was a nice celebration. It was a night session. It was very short and concise and well orchestrated. And you said take out a page from their book. I just took the whole damn book out to them. Um,
Hey,
I took the whole book and came with it
I
because
like that.
one of the things really I told her today is that Devika, I said I've been lucky that so many of your parishers, your church members love me, and it is so true, and it shows. And I always tell people this one thing: we can do great things if we have people that could support us and to help us to do things. And that's what's going on at the church, the Trinity Church in New Hyde Park, is that they have a lot of women that come together, team up. They have a good preacher, Reverend Lalji,
Hmm.
and then they have a good First Lady, Devika, and then they have a good support, Annette, just supporting
Yeah, they're a
Devika.
strong team,
So
very
they
strong
have a
team.
great team. And I want to say they are our team too.
I I think of myself as part of their
We
team
are
as
their team. They
well.
are a
Yeah.
part of us, and we are
Hmm.
part of them. And so
Sure.
I am grateful. So thank you very much. And it's always, I tell people to Radhika, it's always good to know that you've been acknowledged for the work that you do, despite some of us
And
don't
it's
look for
well deserved. It's
it.
well deserved
Oh, I
because
like to say that.
you know you go way and beyond the duties that you're called upon. You go way beyond that. I know you visit people out of the hospital once they leave. You check up on them, which is not necessary in your position, but
Right.
you find that bond with people, and it's amazing the way you bond with people, and you come, you get them doing stuff with you and try to help them after, even after they're out of the facility. You keep in touch with everyone, checking up
I
on
do. I
them.
do.
So your duty as a nurse go way beyond your
Right,
workplace.
right.
It's innate in you.
And one of the things I want to tell people, though, Radhika, is that in life, all the bad things that happen, all the pain that happened to me during all those years, those are the things that made me who I am really, because I know what pain is,
Hmm.
I know what trauma is, I know what it is for people to be kind to you. So these are the things I want to give back to people in our community, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. I want to ask you, you chose the division of mental illness, right? Alcoholics, the chemically addicted patients. I want to ask you what drew you into this division of nursing. But let's do some shout
Shout out, go
outs
ahead.
before we think. Before we go on. We have Anita is watching. Well, always a pleasure having you on, Anita. Bansi Prasad. Good night, Bansi Prasad. Anita, good night to you. Drew Sahadev, good night to you, my friend. My cousin Rohini Miraj, all the way from Suriname. Good evening. Our good friend John from Queens, Palmieri, is watching. How are you doing? Hope all is good with you too, John. And my friend Rukman Gopal, all the way from Trinidad, is locked on. Thank you, Rukman, for coming on. We have, congratulations to Kenneth on receiving your award yesterday from your sister. We have Bibi Casey. That's a friend I have in Fort Lauderdale. She has the most beautiful girls ever. They have a team. She has a restaurant, and you have
Oh,
to see
wow.
they work so hard, and the girls and everybody. What a wonderful team. And our friend Tara Singh. She's not away on vacation, I guess. She's on. Your sister Naomi.
Yes.
Naomi is also, congratulations, my brother. She's proud of your accomplishments. Joanne Reedy. Reedy, yes. Good night, Joanne. How are you doing? Palmieri says, thanks, John. That's John from Queens.
Right.
He wanted to say thanks again for his award
Right.
last Wednesday.
Wednesday, yes.
Yeah. And we can't thank you enough, John, for all you do for us with the streaming and our videos, and you upload our videos. Thank you so, so very much. All right. Naomi said Gita and her were classmates of Annette
Yes. Yeah,
Deprasad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Nafis and Noor, good evening to you, my friend. How are you doing? And yeah, I just lost the comments. Kid.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's it, I think, for comments. And yeah,
mm,
we can't say thanks enough
mm,
to John from
mm,
Queens for
mm.
all that he does, and we really do appreciate his help and support, you know?
Yeah, so I'm going to repeat my question to you that you chose the division of the mentally ill and, alcoholics, the addiction section. And I would like to know what drew you into this division of nursing.
You know, it's strange you asked me that question. It's a long story. Um, I tell people probably God who did this to me, not me. It was my calling to go to this area. I'll tell you what happened. When I was a student nurse back home and I wrote my exams, and I said to them that, you know what, we all had to go to the matron's office, the lady who's in charge of the whole hospital. And us student nurses, we have to say which area we want to work.
Mm.
And so when it was my turn, I said I would love to go to accident and emergency room to work.
Mhm.
And there, there was a senior sister there who said, I tell the matron, listen, Mr. Rampasad have no choice to where he wants to work. He's already taken, and I have him to work in the male psychiatric center
Wow.
at Georgetown
Mm.
Hospital. It's funny.
So God chose the
Yeah.
path for you.
Yes, and so I did work some medical unit in Guyana,
Mm.
but most of my career in Guyana, I worked psychiatric nursing.
Wow.
So when I came to the United States, I spent 10 years actually working in the cardiac unit with the heart and the bedside nursing and so on. And then for the next 7 years, I went to work in the psych unit, the mental, those who do the drugs and all this kind. And then I end up working in Queens here
Mhm.
for over nearly 20 years in South Ozone Park. And there is where I actually, I have about 4 years more to retire. So that's
I
where I,
can see you retiring.
oh no, I want to retire. Because I'll tell you about that. You know, I've been a nurse for 37 years. I'm blessed that I still have the fire. I've been blessed to still have the fire like the day I started nursing. And,
Hooray.
yeah. And, you know, when I get into the States and I pass my exam to become a nurse here in the States, I thought what a big blessing. And even when I get up and go take a shower, I would say, wow, I'm a nurse in America by. Can you believe that? A guy who was sent back to Guyana when he came. And so that's what I do now. I'm specialized. I work in the area with addiction and alcohol, most alcohol and drugs.
I
So I'm
see.
sailing through life now waiting for that.
For that
But
moment.
Radhika, you
So
see, I do.
beyond all the setbacks, you followed your dreams and you realize your dreams. So I can see where you want to say that retiring is
Yeah, I'll
enough
be at
because
40 years in
mm,
nursing. That's a lot of years.
yes, yes,
That's a lot of
definitely.
years.
So dear viewers, May is a month of mental illness. I would like us to discuss a little bit about that subject today. But today, Ken, I want us to address how can we take care of our personal health, our personal mental health. What's your take on self-care? When you're on the plane, they always tell you, the hostess always tell you, if you need air, if the air is supposed the oxygen, you have to wear that
Oxygen.
mask before you can
Right.
help anybody else.
Correct.
So I'm taking it that we should have self-care for ourselves so that
Absolutely.
we can take care of other people. But what is your take on self-care?
One of the thing I tell people all the time, and I do it for my own self, because I work with difficult clients, I tell people that I have to go into work in a good mood. I cannot go fight in a fighting mood. But some of the things that I try to do, and is I try to get my sleep in the night. One, it's important that people sleep, get an adequate amount of sleep, like 7 to 9 hours sleep. If you're older, like 65, 70, 9 hours, 8 hours is good enough. But like for me, I would take 7, 8 hours, which is good enough for me.
For the next five
For the
years
next, yes, that's right. But I'm not a
Just kidding
sleeper.
with you.
But I'm not a sleeper. But I do
Mm.
take my naps during the day. Also, Radhika, um, it's important that in fact, let's talk a little bit. When you don't get your sleep, right? You get cranky,
Tired and
you
cranky
get
and
tired,
grumpy, and
and
everything bothers you.
yes, and the day becomes dreary for you. Like today, I didn't sleep well last night, and so today was just a dreary day for me. I was tired and listen, but thank God I am good now for the radio. Also, people don't realize that it's important to exercise. When you exercise, you build your muscle, you allow your heart to work. You want your heart to work, really. And when you walk, is that you're giving your heart to work and pump the blood to all parts of your body, and that your body need that oxygen-rich blood into your brain and all over the
Mhm.
place. So you must be able to exercise. And one thing I tell people that even just walking is good enough. You walk 5 days a week for like half an hour. And at the first of next month, I will be doing my thing. I'm going to go walk. I want to watch what I'm eating for my own self. Also, when we talk about eating, we want to eat what's right for us, what's good for our body.
Right, exactly.
We know over the years that, and it's sad that cheap food is no good for us. The food that's good for us, that's what we have to, that's why we expensive. And it's a sad thing. But you want to eat a good balanced meal every meal, tea, breakfast, and dinner. And like they said, it's always good to eat a good breakfast to start. That give you the gas to continue the day. And I want to encourage our viewers. I know people love to eat meat and red meat and pork and beef and all these goat and lamb and
And
fried
duck
chicken
and
and fried this and fried that.
mm,
But I want to encourage people to start eat things like fish, turkey. Turkey is very healthy, right? Also include a lot of vegetables in your food. I like to get kale. I go to the store, and you don't have to pay a lot of money for the salmon. I go and I buy the fillet salmon,
mm,
and I pick up the bone, that meat left on it, and I make
mm.
soup,
Soup,
or I
right,
fry it
correct.
up, and I will put my little kale and my little vegetable inside. So whatever you do, add vegetable to your diet,
Meal.
no matter whatever you do. And also, you people if they eat, they can't eat without drinking a Pepsi or a
Oh, yeah,
diet,
that's
whatever
bad.
it is. And I want to tell people the darker the soda is worse for you. Um, I tell people, like I do for myself, is to you want to drink like water with your diet. Me, what I do, because sometimes I'm tired of the beer water. I would put things like cucumber, cut up the cucumber,
Mm-hmm.
and put it in my water. I'll put lime in my water or
Mm-hmm.
lemon in my water. If there's any kind of fruits, you could cut it
Yeah,
up
I've
and make
had.
your water
Yeah, you once
flavorful.
gave me fruits.
Right?
Water with fruits inside.
Yes.
It was good. It was good.
Of course, and you
Mm-hmm.
can also put oranges. I cut up the oranges and
Mm-hmm.
I put them in the water. I sometimes I do it overnight.
Mm-hmm.
So these things are good for you. Also, I get to do the things I like to when I'm off. Things like gardening. I don't know what you do, but I'm going to ask you what you do in just a minute. So think about your answer. So we could help our
Mm-hmm.
viewers to help them live a good life, a purposeful life. I get up in the morning. I like to live a productive day, and some morning I'll wake up at 6 o'clock, 6:30, and I'll go in the garden. Like I spend 7 hours in the garden straight, and these are things that I like. And when I stand up, and you said that, Ken, the garden looks nice, and I like those comments because,
Mm-hmm.
like, somebody called me from Canada and said, "Man, your house looked like a rich man house up front." But the truth of the matter is, it doesn't have to be rich. You clean it, you
Mm-hmm.
plant your flowers, and flower is a
Mm-hmm.
great thing. So, some people like to sew, some people like to read, people like to do different things. I want to ask you, Radhika, what are some of the things that you like to do
What do
for
I
your
like to
mental
do
health?
for my mental health? Well, what I do, I'm trying to eat right now,
Right.
and I've been losing some weight, which is why I'm like a little bit off because I left off chicken as well.
You did?
But I'm told that I should eat chicken, but because that is what it builds the muscle. So yesterday I was at an event, and one little guy he came up to me and asked me, "Is it you? Um, how come you are so wrong and nice and rosy? What happening to
Yeah, me
you?"
see you picture your dance today, yeah?
They
Oh
was
God.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
what, like things like that. But as you age too, you lose muscle. So I'm trying and building on that. I have taken up since the weather is getting better. I'm trying to walk around the block at least,
Yes.
get into
Yes.
it. I'm walking around the thing. In the evenings, I like to read. Reading, I am not a TV person, so I read a lot. And uh, I have my basement to clean, so that's taken me a good time as well. I usually want to spend like 2 hours cleaning up, throwing out stuff. There, by the years, you don't know how much things you accumulate. So that is one of my projects too. I want to get it done by this summer because also have things in the attic in the garage, so I need to get rid of things.
Yeah,
I'm
that's it.
trying
And
to do
then
that.
people,
Mm.
you could do whatever you like. Listen,
I
and
don't
we
have
all
the
like
green
different things.
thumb. I've been trying to plant, but nothing is like coming. I don't
Oh
know.
God.
Yeah. My cousins say I'm not a true Mirage. Mirage, you know how
To plant,
to
right?
plant. Yeah.
And especially you came from Hiker.
Yeah, but
So,
I'm from the business part, not
oh,
the
okay, not the
agricultural
garden part.
part.
All right,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hey, so yes,
One time, my mom, I behaved bad, and she told me how to go weed the garden. I didn't know how to weed the garden, so I just sat down and I was picking them out with my
all
hand
right.
until she was sorry for me and came and got me from the
Oh,
sun.
poor baby. Um, and that's a good thing too. Even when you get older, the older folks think that you can do work
Mhm.
and they think it's work. When you get older, take a pira,
Yes,
and go sit down and
yes,
pull them one grass.
yeah.
And sometimes we think that doing that is working hard, but you know what? It's good for us. It's good for our muscle tone. It's good for our brains, right?
Hmm. Sometimes, like to help me when I'm doing work, I put on some music, and the music gives you the impetus to move, to do
Right.
things.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a good thing when you have chores. Put on some music and go along. It helps. It helps.
I do listen to
So.
music when I'm
Mm,
sleeping before I sleep.
mm.
I put
Oh,
it there, let
that
it.
when I want to sleep, I read, and that's it. I don't like
Oh,
too much.
really?
Yeah. My husband, he has to listen. He has the ear thing he puts in his ear, and he can listen all night.
Oh, wow.
Well, but I don't know. And he learns things that way. Like, he's not good in English. He doesn't speak too much English, but by listening, he picks up too. Even when he's sleeping, it's weird, but he
Yeah.
does.
Also, a lot of times people think that owning a pet it's just a big burden, but I want to tell you that owning a pet it could reduce your stress level, your anxiety level, and it's help you to because you know what people don't realize when you have a dog. Yes, it's a big responsibility. It's like a child. You have to wake up in the morning and take your dog for a walk. But also, people don't realize that when you take the dog for a walk, you are also doing some walking,
Hmm.
which is good for you. So sometimes we can look at the glass half full or half empty. How do you really look at your glass?
My glass is always half full.
Ah,
It's
amen.
always half full. But
Yes.
I don't see myself with a pet. I, 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 I may be too irresponsible. I think I might forget to feed
Oh
the.
God, I such a
I
story, right?
think I'm. I think I may forget to feed the pet or something. The dog. Cats, I'm afraid of them. They look at you like I don't know. They look at me weird and they kind of scare me. But dogs, my son has a dog and I like it. I like the dog, but not for me to own it and
Right,
be,
me too, me too.
yeah. I know they have to be on it, on all the time 24/7 looking after. If you want to go outside, if you want to, if he wants to anything, there's a lot of things you have
Yeah,
responsibilities with
yeah.
it. My husband wanted to get me a dog because all the children are married and gone. And he said, "You're alone." I'm like, listen, I don't want anything that I have to feed, I have to give to drink, I have to walk, and I have to clean their poop. Sorry. I'm
Oh,
okay. I'm sorry, but it's a good thing, but for those who love animals.
yes.
And it's not because I like them, I would never do anything to them bad, but I think I'm just a bit too irresponsible taking care of other
Well, it's
things.
good to know that. Also, we know that owning a pet can help you lower your blood pressure. The
Mm,
dog is there. He come. They said
mm.
dogs are man's best friend. Um, Also, some people get great satisfaction in cooking. I know you don't cook. You know. Also, you know, I met a lot of patients of mine. Um, they be in clutter all the time, and I have to tell you that when your place is free of clutter, it makes you feel good about yourself. Um, and oh God, sometimes I have to make a conscious effort because I like a lot of
Mm,
plants,
mhm.
so I have to make a conscious effort to make sure that I don't bring in too much plants in the house.
I know. Clutter is one of my things too because I have so many activities. So I'm involved in so many different things. It is hard for me to get rid of things because if I have stuff like clothing for performing, I have clunging stuff, I have movie stuff, I have props and different things. I do magic. I have a whole closet of magic tricks. And I don't want to throw them out because, and sometimes I found as soon as I throw out something,
You need it.
I need it.
You see?
I need it. So I am a bit of a hoarder, but I am getting rid of things. And I'm a reader, so I tell you, I must have more than 1,000 books.
Oh, really?
I have more than 1,000 books. Always
We
have
have
been
to
a
let you
bundle.
donate some of the books to people.
I
Then
am
it sits in
I'm
your
ready.
house.
I put it in boxes and then take them out back again. No, I can't get rid of this one. No, I like this one. But I have to. I have to. I have to.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's a
I
good
have
thing
to.
to do.
I donated some to the library in Guyana. To
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
I sent them the Nirvana. In Nirvana, we have a library there, so I had sent books
Oh,
there
that's a
too.
good thing. Also, Radhika, I tell people, to feel good, it's always good to keep your hair well groomed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, shave,
Yeah.
put on your lipstick, your makeup, whatever it
Yeah.
is, cut your toenail, go out for your little manicure,
Mm-hmm.
and do things you're gonna feel good about. You know what I'm saying? And one important thing that we all have to learn is to learn to say no to people, because sometimes
Ah,
being a
yeah.
yes person could draw every
Eh,
energy out of us.
Yeah. I am definitely a yes person, and I do have to learn how to say no. I have to learn how to say no because even when I say no, I feel guilty. So that is one thing I have to work on as well.
Well, that's part of self care, and you don't need to feel
Mhm.
guilty about that by
Mhm.
saying no. You know,
I know. So let's give a couple more shout outs before I go on. We have David M. Singh. Good evening to you. How are you doing? Hafisa Khan. I met, we were there yesterday evening together. Balika Ryan. Hello, Balika. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Balika.
Balika. Sita Jaman. All the way from Monrepo, Guyana. Hey, how are you doing? And yes, Balika says, amazing work. Well done, Ken. Uh, we have Sabo Budram is watching. Sabo, I know I owe you a call. It has been a bit crazy over the weekend, but I will be calling you soon. Jasmine Madre, good night. Good night to you as well. Um, John, that's John. We have John, Balika, Hafiza, Michael, and Nalini, Naidu. They're watching. She says, good night, Ken. Good night to me as well. Good night. How are you doing?
And I
And
like what Balika says. Some may not agree, but music helped me a lot mentally. It relaxes one's mind and calms one's thoughts, bring
mhm,
peace to the soul,
mhm,
depending on the type of music too. Absolutely. I
mhm.
like to listen to calming music,
Yeah,
slow, relaxing music. I don't like the one that we opened with just now.
I know.
Before I sleep, sometimes I put that
You
on.
put that on.
Oh
Suits
yes,
you. It's
soothe me,
good.
soothe
Yeah.
my soul.
Yeah. Yeah, Nalini, I miss you guys. Michael, Nalini, I miss you guys yesterday too. But yesterday was a jam-packed day for me. I couldn't put I couldn't put anything else in yesterday's schedule. But we will meet up again soon. All right? I'm looking forward. So, Ken, what I wanted to say, sometimes I've been feeling a bit down lately for the past month, and I've been a little bit not myself. I have all this allergy coming or whatever, right? And usually we ask other people, "How are you?" Right?
It's a good
But
habit.
yeah, we ask everyone, "How are you?" Sometimes we don't listen to the answers as we should, but it's polite to ask, "How are you?" But what I want to say, why shouldn't we ask ourselves as well? How am I? Right? How am I? Because sometimes you just go on automatic doing things and you never take a chance to see how am I doing, right? Sometimes when we get too distressed, yes, we will take a moment. When someone upended us, we will think about it, or they disconnected us, we will think about, what are we doing? So I'm thinking maybe we ask ourselves that question: How are we doing? When you do it, when 2 days, when do we do it? When 2 days turn into 2 bad days, turn into 4 bad days. Why do we have to wait? When we lost something or someone to grieve about, or someone goes away, and that sadness turns into hopelessness, right? When you know, and that feeling when you no longer feel that you're you, right? Shouldn't we ask, how am I doing? How am I doing?
That's a great question you asked
Mm.
there. And I want to tell you that nobody knows us more than ourselves. We know who we are. We know when we are happy. We know when we are sad. And we know what makes us happy and what makes us sad. That's why, all of these things got a mindset to how do we look at things? Like we say earlier, are we going to look at the glass half full or half
Powerful.
empty? And I tell people, look, listen, you have to look at things in a positive way a lot of times. In life, a lot of good things will happen. Also, a lot of bad things will happen. Things will happen and go out of the way, but you will have to know how to deal with it. Sometimes I get upset too, but you have to reflect on yourself. Like, for example, this weekend coming up, I'll be on Friday, I'll be driving to North Carolina to judge a bird show. And it would cost me probably about $400 in terms of gas
Mm.
and toll. And rather than if I fly, it would cost about $300, whatever it is. And in terms of time, I will save a lot of time because it's going to take me like over 10 hours to get there with with my car.
With a car.
And if I
Mm.
fly, it's going to take about 2 3 hours.
Right.
But one of the things that I do when I'm driving is I live my whole life ahead of me. By myself, like I could do bad by myself. I reminisce my life. I think about everything. I'll think about you. I'll think about our show. How can we improve our show? What can we do in the future to help this?
Right.
So yes, you have to pay attention to what's
Mhm.
going on with you.
Yeah, that's very important.
Oh,
So that's a message we want to give to everyone here tonight. Sometimes just take a minute to reflect on, on what is going on in your inner mind, in your thoughts, and take hold of it and try to fix whatever is not going right. The one thing people always say when we see someone struggling, right, that we should reach out,
hmm
that we should reach out to that person, which is fine.
yeah.
That is great. It's a great thing. But Ken, what about us? Sometimes we have to reach inside of us, right? We have to reach into our own minds, reach in and what about our minds and thoughts? What is troubling us? Sometimes, as mom, as wife, as whatever, you are preoccupied with the other person that you love more than anything. But again, as we said in the plane, you have to take care of yourself before you can give love to anybody
And
else.
I want to add this too. If you
Mm.
have someone in your life who's always bringing bad news, if you have someone who is like they are pessimistic, every
Mm.
time you go near them, they complain,
Oh,
complain, complain.
I have some of those. I try to hide from them.
You have to drop them, divorce them, and don't worry about it.
I know, I
And
know.
I try to do that.
Hmm.
Anybody who's gonna be a bad for my spirit, I let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing to do. You know, keep yourself away because it's just going to poison your mind as well and get you into that kind of frame of mind that, some people, as soon as you say, some people, when they call, you call me, I don't want to take it. Not that I have much time right now because I'm so busy running around. I'm driving when I get calls and I can't take the calls most of the time. But then when I get a chance, I do get back, right?
Hello to Miss Shanta Flowers. You look sparkling yesterday, lady. And Bobita Prasad, a very good afternoon to you. Good night to you. John from Queens, I have anxiety, he said. And probably we should get John a little dog.
Oh. Yeah, he has a nice area there all the way where he
Yeah.
lives to
But John could
walk along the
he could watch the
thing.
airport and watch those planes come in.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's in a relaxing place there, right?
Yes.
So what I want to say again, getting along with the mental issue, because this is the month of
Mental
mental
illness.
illness, right? So the mental experts say that we should all perform regular mental health checkups often to assess our own well-being, right?
Let me correct myself. It's Mental Awareness Month.
Mental
Awareness
awareness
Month.
month, right? So just like the way that you would look out for a loved one, the same rules should apply to you as well. Love yourself as well. So can I want to ask you, what are some of the mental health check that we can do for ourselves?
Um, the things that we can do for our own self, like when we
Mm.
wake up in the morning, we just ask our own self. We watch in the mirror. You look at yourself and you say, "I wonder what's going on with me today. Is it everything gonna be all right?" And you want to put yourself in the mindset that you will be fine. You know what I'm saying? That you foresee a good
Mm.
thing during the day.
I,
Um,
I think too that as you said just now, you I know you could take the plane and reach in 2 hours,
right,
but knowing your frame of mind, you like that driving time to be alone, your alone
right,
time
right.
for you to reflect, right? And if you don't have to drive, but if you can find like a quiet place that you can just go and sit down and reflect upon yourself. We are so used to multitasking most of the times that we do not give ourselves the space or the time, right, to just sit down and reflect. Putting aside time for yourself is very important, I believe.
Absolutely.
Mhm. So your
And
turn.
I know that in our notes that we have, when we turn into hopelessness and when we turn into sadness, I want to add a little bit to that. And I
Mhm.
know that you had, I read the notes earlier. One of the things is that when you're feeling lonely and when you're feeling sad, Radhika, you don't want it to prolong for over 2 weeks. You want it to, when you prolong for over 2 weeks, then you're entering a stage of depression.
Mhm.
So you don't want to drift away that far where you can't
Right.
really help
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm.
The other thing is that people think that you have to go, it's a bad thing to go and talk to a therapist or talk to a good friend or talk to your pastor or your preacher. But I want to encourage people that, and that's why we need to have good friends, good trusted friends who we could talk to when things get bad with us. Because the truth of the matter is, things do get bad with us, no
Mhm.
matter how you turn or twist it. And them said every dog got them own day,
Exactly.
and them say carry a crow or fly every barn door a different time.
Mhm.
So what I encourage people to do is to, even if you have your pastor, that's why I like to have, you should have a good pastor or a good religious leader where you could go and talk to them about things that's bothering you. You know, if you see that you're talking to your preacher or your pastor or your magi or your pandit and you're not getting anywhere, Radhika, then that the next best thing to do, if you feel sadness and you're feeling hopeless, the next thing to do is to go and seek professional help.
Right. Exactly.
We don't want to
Mhm.
jump from not talking
Mhm.
to anybody
Mhm.
in our community
I
and
know.
go straight and see a psychologist. You know what I'm saying? Or a
Yeah.
psychiatrist.
I would say that, seek the medical help. Seek the medical help because sometimes the friends don't know enough to tell you what should be done. And or seek somebody in the field, a friend who knows about it.
You know, Radhika, I'll be
Mhm.
honest with you that sometimes, like me, when things bother me, I rat it out. I talk. I'm a talker.
Mhm.
And I feel good after I finish. I
Mhm.
cuss you out, I do whatever it is. And I feel better, right?
Mhm.
But if I have to keep it inside of me, I am telling you, it's going to come out the wrong way. So a lot of times now, I try to say what's on my mind at the
Oh,
same
you
time.
meant if you have a problem with
Right. No,
someone.
no, even the problem.
Uh-huh.
If I have something that's bothering me,
Mhm.
I like to talk about it.
Mhm.
It could be like I talk to you now and again.
Mhm.
I talk to Shanta. I talk to a lot of people. Um, you know, so start first
Mhm.
with your circle, with your wife, your
Yeah.
spouse, your
Mhm.
girlfriend, your boyfriend, whomever it is.
Mhm.
And when you see, if you see you're not getting, because some people just want to be heard.
Right.
The other thing
Exactly.
to do, Radhika, that I see people keep making the mistake is that when someone go to them with a problem and they start to talk, they take over the whole damn conversation.
That is what I was trying to get at sometime.
No, you want
Mm.
to, when you see people come to you with a problem, you want to listen to what they have to say, Radhika.
Mhm.
Give them that space
Mhm.
to talk to you because they
Mhm.
choose to come to talk to you.
Yeah, and that they're getting it out of their system too, and that's a big help. Just listening can be a big help.
Now, you know, if it's something about cheating, about something
Mhm.
big in the relationship, you're pregnant with somebody else's husband, and you don't want your friends them to know, I would recommend you then you go and speak to a professional person
A professional
because
who is bound to keep you secret.
secrets, right? So you could die with the secrets. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, so one of the things you have to do first is start like looking at the big picture. Are you functioning on a daily basis in your daily life as you should? Do you have like trouble doing the chores that you have to do every day?
Right.
That is the one thing, one factor that you have to look in, right? If you're really struggling in areas as a parent, as a teacher, a spouse, a child, that right there is a sign that things are off track a little bit when
Absolutely.
you have that. Look inside at your feelings, look at your behavior. Are there changes in your mood? There are some questions that you can ask yourself. How have my behaviors changed? How have my feelings changed? Do I still find joy and happiness in the things that once brought me joy? Am I being irritable or snapping at other people? Am I really doing more than I usually am? Do I find that I'm making a mountain out of a molehill? Am I avoiding people? Those are some of the questions that I think we should ask ourselves. You know, what about behavioral, about our manners, what is going on? Also, you need to consider how long you have these symptoms, right?
Right.
Everyone has bad days, as we know. Everyone has bad days. But if you're feeling bad and down for more than 2 weeks, I say that's cause for concern. What do you say?
Absolutely. And that's when it leads
And
to
yeah,
depression.
it's time to seek professional help, right? Look at your body and remember our bodies try and communicate with our brains as well. So that is a wake up, it's a red flag. Look into that, right? I gotta say, mental health and physical health are always in sync. So ask yourself these questions. How am I sleeping? Am I eating well? Am I grinding my teeth at night? Do I feel muscle tension in my neck or shoulders? Am I being active the way I usually am? My friends, I just want to say don't wait until things get really bad. In a perfect world, people would usually do these checkups on a regular basis. But even when they're not struggling in a in a perfect world, they would. But viewers, remember, it's much easier to prevent a crisis than it is to climb out of one. Our old people used to say prevention better than cure. Old people very wise. So let's remember that.
And Radhika, I want to add to this part to our paying attention is that not because someone speak to a psychiatrist or speak to a doctor, that means they are crazy,
Oh, definitely not. Definitely
right?
not. Yeah.
And people spend a lot of time going to the doctor for hypertension, diabetes, and just like that, I encourage people to go and seek psychiatric help too. You're not
All
feeling
right.
well, go to the
Mhm.
doctor,
Yes,
go to your
exactly.
psychiatrist,
Mhm.
right?
All right, so we're gonna get a song and we're coming right back with Guyana homemade cures, right?
That's
As a
right.
nurse, let's test you here.
Oh, I don't know, but we'll try.
Ooh, natural beauty, you know. Yeah, no, I never been someone shy until I seen your eyes. Still, I had to try. Yeah. Oh, yes. Let me get my words right and then approach you. Woman, I'll treat you like a man is supposed to. You'll never have to cry. No. I know everyone can relate to when they find a special someone. And she's royal, yeah, so royal. And I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, the way she moves to her own beat. She has the qualities of a queen. She's a queen. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen. She's a queen. And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is. She's royal, yeah, so royal. And I need her one of a kind. Until the night that I see your rise. Oh, my queen, so supreme. I can see it in her eyes, the way she smiles. Hey, yes, I and I know the king and queen crown. See, I'm tired, so I never leave your side. Just stick with me through the trial times. Oh, and she says she no mind. Alright, I know good man is hard to find. And she can't about that giant line. That's why she has no ties at this time. Yeah, I know many men are trying, but she needs to be more than wine and dine because she's royal, yeah, so royal, and I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so divine. Oh, the way she moves to her own beat, she has the qualities of a queen, so supreme. Ooh, ooh, what a natural beauty. No need no makeup to be a cutie. She's a queen, so supreme. Yeah. And when they ask what a good woman's made of, she's not afraid and ashamed of who she is. She's royal, yeah, so royal. And I want her in my life. I never knew anyone so one of a kind. No, no, the way she moves to her own beat. She has the qualities of a queen.
Welcome back to From Our Hearts with Radhika and Ken. Radhika, it's good to have Miss Berlin Indra Susaran. That's Leon's mom. Thank you
Leon's
for tuning
mom.
in to
Yeah.
us. Also, I want to say thank you very much to Mr. Roger Singh for your kind words, your encouragement, for looking out for the brother. It means a lot. Roger always have a kind word, to give to share with me. And he always look out. So thank you, my brother, and say hello to your beautiful wife for me. That song for my bride, if 29 years. All right, baby, that song is especially
Way to
for her.
go. Way to
All right,
go.
29
Yeah.
years, good loving.
Congratulations.
Irie,
That's good loving and good living.
yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah. So Ken, we thought about thinking about in Guyana homemade remedies that we had, right? So back home in Guyana, people hardly ever went to the doctor. They only went when they were seriously or critically ill, right? So they always had somebody at home, the grandparent or the mother or somebody who knew what to do in certain circumstances. For instance, let's say they only went when they needed operation. Talking about operation, that brings to me. Do you know why we call diarrhea belly walk, or some people say operating? Huh?
Because the stool water,
It's stool water, watery,
watery,
watery.
yeah, it's
So
watery.
that is operation. I don't see what
The,
it is,
the connection.
but the connection, but I guess it has to be that. But when you had diarrhea in Guyana, do you remember what they used to give you?
I don't remember, but you know what? From now, what did I know? I hear we say guava
Yeah.
could chuck your belly.
Yeah, they give you green guava,
Right.
or sometimes if there's no guava on the tree, they make a guava leaf tea for you,
Right.
or they boil clove and make a tea,
I
right?
like clove tea.
And boy, if that don't bind and bung your belly, I don't know what will. You know, let's say over here in the States, I know if you have diarrhea, what they usually do is tell you drink a hot Pepsi or a hot Coke or something like that. Or if you have the means, you go and get Imodium at the pharmacy.
Right. But on a serious note, Radhika, I would want to encourage people if you have diarrhea that's going on and on and on, you need to go to the hospital. I'm just saying
Oh,
this.
really?
Oh yeah.
Mm.
You lose a lot of electrolytes from having diarrhea and
Oh.
vomiting. So you want to get help.
All right. Okay. And then again, back in Guyana, if you sprain your ankle or your hand or any part of your body, what was the home remedy?
The- Would it take some cloth and tie up your foot, or you go and get it rubbed some way?
Yeah, they usually had these people who give you
Them old people
massages
is
or that.
yes.
But what they usually did, they had a leaf called cowfoot. I think it's a cowfoot leaf, right?
I never hear about that
And
one.
if you can't find that leaf, they usually take the sucker leaf,
Yes.
a plantain sucker leaf or something like that.
Right.
Or in any case, a wide leaf. And they, you messed it up.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
And then you gotta heat the dye. You have to take
okay,
dye
okay.
with oil, and then you put it in the leaf, and you
Mhm.
put it on the foot, and then you or wherever the wound is, you bandage it up. And I think you have to do the heating and the process like for a couple of days, right? So
That's
that's
a turmeric, right?
the turmeric, yeah.
Right, right, right.
The turmeric. That's correct. You're too Americanized today.
Yes,
The turmeric.
absolutely. Yeah. Hey,
Mhm.
they die, right? Oh, go
Mhm.
ahead.
And then usually when the babies had, like from holding them or them sleeping at the side, they
I'm
also
gonna
have
cry
the
a lot.
stiff
Yeah.
neck. They also have the neck pain, right? And back home in Guyana, we call it hasli. I don't
Right,
know if
right.
you know
I
about
know here about
hasli.
Hasley.
Yeah, hasli. So usually you rub it, right? But if it doesn't go away, the remedy was that usually two ladies, I guess, but whoever two people is available, they put the baby in the middle of the sheet,
Yes.
and then they hold the baby and they roll the baby one side, and then they roll the baby on the other side. They do that a couple of times. And I tell you, it has worked. I've seen it work.
Oh yeah.
That is
But
a good
Radhika,
remedy.
how you know all these things, man?
How I know?
And you live in Venezuela.
I lived in Venezuela, but my mom was a pro in all these things.
Oh really?
Yeah, my mother knew all these remedies, like, to do these things.
Yes.
And sometimes, when the baby cried a lot and wouldn't take the bottle, they meant that the baby had bad eye.
Uh-uh.
And then out come the garlic skin, the onion skin, the salt, the hot pepper, the sarso. And then after you unshade the child, which you got to do, I don't remember, it's 5 or 7 times you got to do that. Then you got to go
I think it's
outside
5 times.
5 times. It's an odd number. And then when you go outside, you have to bend over and you have to put that whatever it is between your legs. You
Uh-huh.
pass it under your legs,
Okay.
and then you burn it. Sometimes they put like a couple piece of broomstick inside so that it burns.
Oh wow.
And that's not all. That's not all. They say if it stink, the baby had bad, bad, bad
Oh,
eye.
do you believe this really?
I don't know, but it has worked in times of yore.
Wow.
It has worked. So I guess the people knew what they were talking about at that time,
Yes, yes.
And the simple thing they say though, when you take out the child, you put a ticker,
A
a
black
black
ticker.
ticker on the forehead.
Right,
That
right.
is to ward off any evil eye.
Yes,
So
yes.
that's a
And
good
as I
thing
talk
to
about ticker a little bit too, let me talk about the red ticker, no?
the red ticker
Red ticker mean
that you're married, you're taken.
leave her alone.
Leave her alone. Hands off.
Hands off. All right. Okay.
Hands off. What is it? Touch with your eyes. Touch with your eyes and see with your hands.
Oh Jesus.
All right. So also to keep away evil spirits, the people of yore, they used to place a holy book, being the Gita or the Ramayana or the Bible or the Quran, something, depending on your creed,
Right, right.
and they used to also place a round edge scissors, the one that is for kids,
I
the
see
round
that before.
ended one,
Yes.
under
Yes.
the baby's pillow,
Oh wow.
right? And
Yes.
some people put like worn clothes, like clothes that has your sweat on it,
Mm-hmm.
around the baby, like to guard the baby.
Oh wow.
Those are things.
Yeah.
What if a baby has a cold? What do you think they did before?
Well, listen, I would just say go to the doctor.
Go
Get him
to
to the
the
doctor. I
doctor.
ain't dealing with all of that, but go ahead.
But in Guyana, some people live in very rural areas, and it's very hard for them to come out and go to
Right,
the
right.
doctors in Georgetown. In some places, a nurse go every once a week, right? So sometimes it can be too late. So people has all these homemade remedies that
Right.
helps.
That still work though
So
too, I
it
believe.
still works. It still works. So usually if a baby had a cold in those times, they grate nutmeg and they get a piece of soft grease, right? And they mix it up together and they put it on the baby chest and on the mole
Oh,
of the
really?
head,
Oh.
right? And then they can wrap the one in the chest around with a cloth to keep it in place. And that usually helps the baby cold.
Oh, okay.
Right. And again, when the navel string drops off,
Right.
they do something. They say you have to secate,
I hear
and
the word
they
sake.
secate, right? That is you light a little dia or a little lamp or something with fire, and you get some warm coconut oil, and you thing it with you warm your fingers with it, and then you put it on the navel to keep the navel down.
Yes.
Sometimes when the baby cries, the navel pops
Pops
up.
out, yeah. Yeah.
So usually you do it with the tongue with the hot oil,
Yes.
and if it's too bad, they usually put a coin. They put a coin or what do you call it? A button to cover it, and they tape it down. So even when the baby cries, it doesn't pop up.
Oh, okay.
But you've seen people with the bulging
Yes,
navel,
yes,
right?
yeah. Of
So
course, I did
yeah,
see that.
yeah. And in Guyana, if you walk on a nail or anything, and you walk on a nail, especially a rusted nail.
Yes.
If it's rusty, people have died of that, right?
Yeah.
People have gotten infection and
Actually,
died of that.
my grandfather died of that.
Really?
A
On
nail
nails.
stuck him on his foot,
Mm.
and he died.
Wow. Yes. So, and even this still is good if you get hard boils. They say the abscess, you put warm, soft grease on in the morning and in the night. You put the warm, soft grease every time to draw out whatever infection. Soft grease is such a good thing.
Yes.
I still have I always have soft grease in my
Oh,
house.
really?
I have like 4 sticks right now.
So what you
Yeah.
use them for?
I don't know. I just have it.
You
I
guys.
just I just have it, because I'm like, you never know. When my brother was with me, he had hard boil, so we used to put it on the hard boil,
Oh,
the
okay.
the thing. So I still have some of that.
Yes.
Am I talking to my brother? Tuesday, Wednesday is gonna be 3 years since he
Oh,
passed
wow.
away.
Time
So
pass, eh?
he's in my head like a lot.
Oh.
So another thing, sometimes you have belly pain,
Right.
and what they call belly
Nara.
pain, Nara,
Nara.
right? That's the
I was a
thing.
culprit for Nara. I get
You had
Nara all the
Nara,
time.
yeah. That is pain, diarrhea, and vomiting, right? You have to. That can be confused when you have Nara. It can be confused with It's this very similar symptoms to to appendicitis, and the same thing, the belly walk, the vomiting, and the belly pain. So you have to be careful with that. But what they used to do in the time, they used to like measure. They had a string, and they used to measure like from under your breast to the bottom of your belly on one side, and then they measured with the same string the other side. And if one side was longer than the other side, it meant that you had what we call NARA,
Right,
right?
right.
And then I think there's some kind of way to massage it or whatever. But if it was appendicitis, that would be dangerous if you massage and burst the appendix,
Right, right.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to say that too. That's something that I learned over the years because I've always get narrow when I lift something heavy. But what I used to do, I used to get a little, get some rice, put it in a piece of cloth, and I used to put it over my navel. And I take when it get light up a little bit, I will take a glass and put it over the fire,
Mm.
and it just pull,
It
and
pulls
it
it.
fix, yeah,
Oh
and it fixed
wow.
the problem. So that was a good thing.
Mm. I know when you have in Venezuela, when you had, like wind pain and stuff like that, they would put a little piece of candle on a glass,
Yeah.
under a glass, and just move it around,
Oh wow.
and then pull it off, and that usually helped as well. So
Okay.
there's a lot of like homemade remedies and a
That they
lot.
bring from India.
Mhm. Have you ever heard of palai? I think it is
No.
palai.
Palai.
That's when I think it's palai. I'm not sure if
Or
that's the
you said
right
your
word.
palate drop.
That's when the palate drop. But I don't remember what you call the word. I think it's palai. That's what came to
Oh, I
my
don't
head.
know.
That's what came to my head. But the palate drops,
Right.
and it's difficult for you to speak or to swallow or to any, and it's painful. I've never had it, but I've heard it's painful.
Oh God.
So what you do is you go to somebody who knows how to do this,
Right.
and there's certain part of your head, I
Right.
don't know where,
Th-
they grab that
Yes.
hair, they grab the hair, and when they grab that hair and pull it up,
Crack.
it pulls whatever is the hair.
They pull your palate.
They pull the pallet. Yeah,
Pull
that's
the
it. Pull
palate.
the pallet. That's
I
the
mean, no
one.
one
Yeah,
two
you
old
know
time
that.
story. What you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yes, yes, yes. That's it. And they pull it back up and that thing. All those are house, house
Yes.
memories. Some people I do, and up to here, I know that people always ask who born with the foot, because it said if you have a backache, like a backache that doesn't go away, so someone who was born with their foot can kick you
Oh, really?
a little tap with their foot, and that helps to take away the pain. I know a lot of people, they always look who was born with the foot. It's not a breech baby. Breech baby is when you're born with your bottom, right?
When you like from the side when you can't come out,
Yeah. But this
and
are
then they
the
gotta
baby has
pull
to be
you. They
born with the
gotta
foot. Yeah.
fix you inside. You
Right.
know.
Yeah. But this one is the baby who come out foot first. So yeah, they have that ability to
Wow, that's
take
good.
away, right? I also know this, you might know too. If you eat in fish and you get a bone stuck in your throat, what they usually tell you to
You
do?
eat some rice, bray rice, or
Bay
you could
rice.
eat bread,
Bread
dried
too.
food.
Dry food, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That usually, you don't have to go to the doctor to do anything. You get it, right? And again, as I was saying, hard boil and abscess. It's soft grease to the rescue again, right?
Yeah.
In Guyana, we usually use Vicks for everything. Vicks is the master blaster
True.
of everything. And it can be found in every home. Every mom has Vicks,
Fix,
every grandma has Vicks.
especially
But
grandmother house.
yeah, but I think we can, Vicks is a topic all by itself.
It good for a lot of
So
things.
yeah, so we can touch that topic another day all by itself,
You know, Vicks, you can shine your shoes with them too.
Oh, really?
Oh
With
yes,
Vicks?
yes,
Oh,
man.
I did some tricks with Vaseline and on the shoes, but
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh okay.
but it didn't work out too good because it draws the dust as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. But
yeah.
you gotta wipe it off, you know.
Hmm. If you get burned, you put Vaseline or Colgate, and that
Colgate me
helps.
here. Me here with the Colgate.
Colgate or butter too. If you
Yes,
don't,
yes, butter. Yeah.
butter, right? It's good. Earache, earache. You
Warm the
warm a little
coconut.
bit of coconut oil and you pour it. Or if people who can afford peroxide, they put it in. But if not, I used to love when my mom did it. It was such
Nice
a
sensation.
nice sensation, like a tickly
Oh
feeling.
God.
It was really nice, yeah, when we used to do that. Now, what about sty? We call it cat bile in
Yes,
Guyana.
yes,
Cat bile,
yes.
you know.
Well, then, Seb, how you get cat bile? You give somebody
You give
something
somebody
and you take
something,
them
you
back.
take it back, so you get cat bile. Mhm. Over here they call it sty. So,
Right.
and for that there is nothing better than kajar. You know what is kajar?
Kajar, yeah.
Hmm. And this kajar has to be made on a Diwali night. Not any kajal, not made any other time, but it has to be made on a Diwali night to have this power to take
Oh
it
wow.
away, right?
Kajar.
In most Hindu homes, there will always be a spoon of kajal made from the last
Oh
Diwali
really?
at the altar, right? They use it a lot for the kids, for
Oh.
bad eye and all of that.
I think probably you could
Hmm.
use for rouge, la rouge. How you put the black
The
thing around
thing,
your eye? Yes.
yeah, people use that. Yeah,
Okay.
people use that. That's the thing. So talking about that, reminds me, my dad, in Pagua, when they burn the halakha, they burn the tree. He used to always come home with some of
Oh yeah.
the ash from the halakha, and
Oh.
then when he come home, he would just put it on our face and forehead a little bit. But they used to keep that at the altar as well
Oh
for if
wow.
babies get bad eye and these kind of things. And do you know sometimes when you have stiff neck, somebody when they what they do, they have you and you put your hand in the back and they pull it or they jerk you or something
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
that. That is but that person has to know what they're doing, right? So we will think about part two of these things
Right,
next time coming.
absolutely.
Yeah? And we need a music now.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so you want me to get some music, right? Let's play the Vindra Puran song.
Yeah.
You ready?
Hmm.
मैंने तेरे लिए ही सात रंग के सपने चुने, सपने सुरीले सपने। मैंने तेरे लिए ही सात रंग के सपने चुने, सपने सुरीले सपने। कुछ हंसते कुछ गम के, तेरी आंखों के साए चुराए रसीली यादों ने। ओ मैंने तेरे लिए ही सात रंग के सपने चुने, सपने सुरीले सपने। छोटी बातें छोटी छोटी बातों की है यादें बड़ी, भूले नहीं बीती हुई एक छोटी घड़ी। छोटी बातें छोटी छोटी बातों की है यादें बड़ी, भूले नहीं बीती हुई एक छोटी घड़ी। जन्म जन्म से आंखें बिछाई तेरे लिए इन राहों में। ओ मैंने तेरे लिए ही सात रंग के सपने चुने, सपने सुरीले सपने। भोले भाले भोले भाले दिल को बहलाते रहे, तन्हाई में तेरे ख्यालों को सजाते रहे। भोले भाले भोले भाले दिल को बहलाते रहे, तन्हाई में तेरे ख्यालों को सजाते रहे। कभी कभी को आवाज देकर मुझको जगाया ख्वाबों में। ओ मैंने तेरे लिए ही सात रंग के सपने चुने, सपने सुरीले सपने।
Hi.
Yeah.
Welcome back to From Our Hearts with Radhika and Ken on Island Zone Radio. Want to say thank you so much for all of you tuning in. I'm gonna beat Miss Anjani. Olarti, she's still sorry she's late, but it's better. Yeah, that's true. It's better she come, but you get lashed too. When you come up this class, you get licks.
Better
Um,
late than never. And
you look,
Anjani is what the wait.
yeah, yeah. But
Mhm.
let's talk about this before we got a little time. Anjani said you guys look beautiful and handsome. Wait, somebody said by that you look so different when we see you and when you're on the radio. And I said, I thought to myself that when they see me, I look better. But then when I look at myself in the the computer, I see I look good. Probably because all the lights that they see make me look good. So, oh Jesus, that's a bad thing. But you know what? It's probably the same thing. But my heart's that count. And so I'm glad that all of you tune in. I'm going to
That
say,
smile doesn't change,
not a
Ken.
child, a smile is the thing that do it for me. Trust me.
Mhm.
Ali Ahmad, a very good evening to you. Rukman Gopal, say, Olis, good, lovely
Mhm.
Olis.
That's my sister friend from all Trinidad.
Trinidad. Okay.
Mhm.
We have Zabita Singh. A very good evening to you. Avani, Hari Ram, a very good evening to you. Thank you. Roger said, that is my song for my bride, 29 years. That's
Yeah.
right. And so I'm
Mhm.
going to let you read. Pandit,
Yeah.
Pandit, you,
Pandit, yeah, peroxide too, yeah. Um, that trickly, tickly thing. Yeah, ears is so delicate, right? The
Yeah,
ear
but
is so delicate, but yeah.
what I wanted you to read also a
I
very
Go
big
ahead.
congratulations to Mr. Rampersad on his recent recognition and award for his outstanding work as usual. Let the sky be the limit. Bhagwan's blessing for years of continued
100
growth,
years.
success, 100 years of success, peace and happiness. Thank you. And
Yeah.
I do have a lot of expectations, and I shouldn't have expectations when I think of Panda 2. And I always say good things about him because our future lies in him. And if
Mm-hmm.
I could be a source of inspiration to him too, because I know I'm older than him by far, that I'm glad I could be that. I'm glad that he's part of us too.
Oh,
That despite I'm a
mm-hmm.
Christian, I feel that we are part of the Ganesh Mandir too. And
We
let's
are
talk a
part
little
of
bit
him.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let me talk a little bit about that.
Go ahead.
I was so honored to have that he had me come to the church, to the temple, to the Ganesh Mandir, and to witness the voting.
Mm-hmm.
It was such an honoring thing for me to do. And thank you very much for respecting. But I think we are friends. I don't like when they say Mr. Ramsal. I feel too professional. Ken is good enough. But thank you. And you, Pandit, I'll do anything for you. You know that you are part and a parcel of the Ken Ramprasad show and from our hearts, Radhika, and the show. And I say, Mataji, it's over to you. Pandit language.
Pandit knows I love him too, and I would do anything for him and his family too, and the mandir. Whatever is in my possibility, I am there for the mandir.
I hope when they're ready to build the church, a temple, they get a good site. That we will. I know. I not said hope. I know that we will
We will
team
be
up.
there side by side
We
with
will
them.
team up with him to help
Mm.
him, even if to put on a glass, the window or something.
Yeah,
Even if we get a little
we will
thousand,
pitch in.
we gonna
Yeah.
give you a little dachna, Pandi. Don't worry, we gonna try our best to give a little dachna. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead.
All right. Can talking about food and nutrients and all of that. A little bit about our good, healthy Guyanese food that we had back in the days. The world is going vegan right now, right?
Right.
To- So today, let's choose one thing to talk about today. One of my favorite dishes, okra.
Mhm.
I love okra. So, what can you tell us about the value of eating okra?
Radhika, before you came on board, I wanted to do this. I swear to my God. I want to talk about the benefits of food, why it's important to eat the vegetables, the okra, the karela, and these things. And I have notes in my computer from probably 3, 4 years now about the value of things. And I'm so
Mm-hmm.
glad that we can, every week, that we can put this, we come to terms,
Mm-hmm.
both you and I, that we could talk a little bit. And we are now starting this. I'm now starting this, but our next show or the following show that we'll be able to bring something more concrete. But today, we choose together that we're going to talk a little bit about okra. Not a lot of information, but I'll tell you basically, it has a lot of rich nutrients inside of okra, right? Contains beneficial antioxidants, which is good for us, may lower our heart disease risk. It's good for your heart, so
Mm-hmm.
you need to eat it. Have may have anti-cancer properties. So if you know that you have cancer runs in your family, you can eat it. And I'm going to talk about a little bit just now how I prepare it.
Mm-hmm.
Or I tell them to prepare it. Also, from long ago, it's good for your blood pressure, blood sugar. It's
Mm-hmm.
good for diabetes. It helps to regulate your sugar, which is a great thing. An excellent choice for diabetics. Beneficial for a woman in pregnancy. And because I heard this a long time ago, that because it's kind of a slimy stuff, you know, excuse me, because it's a slimy stuff, probably it's good that it gives you that kind of
The
fluids in your
fluidy.
body that when you're probably going to give birth to your baby,
Mm-hmm.
it's good. That slime is going to help you
Mm-hmm.
pass your baby out easily, right? It's also it's good like for your saliva, any um, for lubrication, like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
lubricant for man and woman.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's like the oil in our system.
right. It makes that thing that
Maintenance due now.
right. Also, it's easy to add in a diet. So I'm gonna. You don't know what to cook too much, but let me tell you a little
I
bit.
don't know to cook too much, but I know to eat a lot.
Oh God. Oh,
So I do like okra and dal.
oh,
In
yes,
dal,
that's how I
I
like
like
it.
it in dal. I like
Yes.
it in cook up rice.
Yes.
I also love it fried, crispy, but
Oh,
I don't
really?
like when it's cut up big, big. I don't like it.
No,
No, I like it like a nice size and fried like a little bit brownish. I
I
like
never
that.
eat it like that. Really, to be honest with you,
No?
I.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I eat fried karela. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, I eat it fried karela when Gita cut it up and they sop it up and whatever it is. But the truth of the matter is that we should really also what I do sometime I would and you'll be surprised that when I get okra and I cut it up and put it in a glass of water,
Mm-hmm.
that water bring out all that slime,
Sliminess.
and I just drink that. You
No.
know, if you want, you would add a little honey. If you want to try, probably we could try it. We could try it one day
Mm-hmm.
in studio and let people
Mm-hmm.
see
We'll see how it works.
how it
Mm-hmm.
works. But I want to encourage people to eat a lot of vegetables. It's good for you.
Yeah, as we said before, eat a lot of vegetables,
Right.
and every week we will try to talk about the benefit of one particular
Right. Right. Yes.
vegetable. We're trying to format the program so that
So
we can bring more awareness, health awareness, a little
yes.
bit of,
Yes. Some news,
yeah, news, yes,
current
current
affairs.
affairs and whatever, right?
Yes. So
So we are approaching the end of the program, but Ken, to end it off, I want to say, I want to say we live in a very interesting world and and a funny time, right? I saw this on the internet and I thought this is really profound to me, very, very deep, right? It says we live in a time where we see humans, we live in a time where we see humans, but we do not see humanity.
right.
Hmm?
Yep.
If you want to talk a little bit about any of the points, you
Well,
know.
I it's something that I
Mhm,
hear a long time ago.
mhm,
I want us to come back and start to think about people and their feelings.
mhm,
You know, be kind, be humane to our humankind.
mhm. Yeah. We live in a time where the rich has more rooms than children and the poor has more children than rooms.
Hmm.
And that is a very true statement too,
It's
right?
true, yeah.
We live here in a time where smartphone brings you closer to those who are far, right? But it distances you from the people who are closer to you.
Yes,
With you.
absolutely,
Sometimes,
absolutely.
you're doing something and nobody's paying attention. You're eating and everybody's on their phone, everybody's involved in their own business. And you're right there, but you're chatting away with somebody else, but you don't have time for the people right around you.
I want to talk a little bit about that, Radhika, and we have to be very careful. I went to a school today at Kevin's school, and when I went, I see all the children with their cell phones. I see
I thought
children.
it wasn't allowed in the
No,
school.
it's still allowed
I mean,
with the earpiece and so on.
mhm, okay.
I see children going to cross walking my street to go to school, and I see they're walking and they're not paying attention to what's going on with them. You know, I see pregnant women walking the streets, crossing the streets, and they're watching their phone. We need to change that back because
Yeah, I think that is something, sometimes you have the green light and you have to wait and they're taking their sweet time
yep,
crossing. And sometimes you get the red light back again and you can't cross because they're not paying attention to the surroundings. They don't care. They're just walking and. And I thought at school they were only
no,
supposed
they
to
do
use
a
it
lot
on
of things in
break
school.
or
Yeah.
on, okay. I know where my grandchildren go. They have rules and regulations for the phones. You know.
Mintry, a very good afternoon to you, good evening to you, good night. Ram Prasad, go ahead.
Yeah. So, we actually live in a time where we open Facebook more than we open our holy books, our
It's
holy
true, it's true.
scriptures, right?
Yes.
Facebook is the going thing. And I mean, I'm a Facebook addict
Me
myself,
too.
but I am a reader as well.
Yes.
And I do like to read on my interesting topics, and I do read a holy book sometimes. Not everybody has a different view on how you read it, but I try.
I'm
Um,
glad you say that because, years ago I had a habit, Radhika, that when I wake up, the first thing I do is go on my Facebook. But now, when I wake up, the first thing I do is pray.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for another day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll probably go on Facebook. But otherwise, that,
Mm-hmm.
no, I have to pray first.
It depends if I have to go to the bathroom first. I usually grab the phone and go to the bathroom.
Oh, Jesus.
Then after I shower, then I go to pray a little bit after, you know. Mm. So another thing, we live in a time where a single mother can look after 10 children, but 10 children can't look after a single mother. How true is that?
True story.
How true is that? We see that every day. We see that, you know. Not, I mean, there's rules and regulations, and there's always an exception to the rule. But mostly, the children do not want to take care of their elder
You know,
parents.
Radhika, I totally agree with that statement. And on the flip side, I often wonder sometimes if that one parent caused a lot of confusion among the 10 children. I mean, yes,
It's
we
a
must forgive.
possibility.
We
It's a
should forgive,
possibility.
right? We got to
Hmm.
forgive.
Hmm.
But can you imagine the confusion that one mother could cause to? We
Yes.
know these things happen.
Two sides, two
Two
sides
sides
to
to
the
the
coin.
coin. And
Uh-huh.
we get complaints from parents, from
Mhm.
children all the time. My mother like this one, my mother, so I'm going to stay away from
Now,
her.
I always say, when you sow what you reap sometimes,
Right.
right?
So
Yeah.
sometimes I like to bring up these things and to
Mm.
be on the fence too, for
Mm.
those who are kind. Some people don't like confusion
Mm.
because some parents, what they do, they go to Tom house, they talk.
Mm.
They go to Patricia house, they listen, they talk. They go to Gail house, they go to Radhika house, and they talk and
Mm.
bring cause confusion in the whole family. But
Mhm.
we want to encourage people though to be kind to your parents, no matter what. I always tell,
No matter
people,
what, you should be kind to your parents. They brought you into this world, they gave you life,
right?
and there should be some kind of respect and some kind of,
Yes,
so give them dignity. Do what you have to do.
yes,
They brought you up, so do
yes,
what you have to do
yes.
sometimes. So we live in this world where the rich walk miles to digest the food, and while the poor walk miles to search for food.
Yes, true story.
That is a true story
Yes.
as well, right? Um, we live in a world where women are paid to be naked, while others have no clothes to cover their nakedness.
True story.
So sometimes we live in this world here where our contact lists are huge, but our relationships are very poor,
Amen.
right?
Yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Mm. And we live here in a world where our possessions are more, but our appreciation is much less. It's less.
I want to encourage people before we come on the show. I want to encourage people to be more appreciative, to show love and gratitude. It helps. I think in my life, Radhika, I've came this way, this far, because of I show gratitude, I show
Mm.
love, and all these things together.
Mm.
I don't let things pass by that easily, if you
Mm.
know what I mean. I always want to say thanks.
Yeah. So we live in a world here where we know how to earn a good living, but we forget how to live a good life.
True, true.
Isn't that true?
Yep,
Hmm. We live in the times where many know the price of everything, but not the value of anything. That
true.
is very, very deep.
That's a
That
profound
is very
statement,
deep.
to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Mm. So I gotta say, indeed, we live in a strange world, and I gotta say, may God help us and guide us.
And even though I want to bring that, even though as we were talking about value added stuff, I want to say though, Radhika, even though your friendship, people should know the value of their friends and the
Mm-hmm.
value.
Mm-hmm.
So they give respect. By you understand the value of people, it comes with a lot of things with love and respect. You know. So we hope that tonight's show that you guys have learned something, or are you we resonate some things in you guys so that we all together could go on to live a better life and to be good human being.
And to be good human beings. That is, we're here in this life to be good human beings, to help each other, give each other a hand, and let's live in peace and harmony. And
True.
that is all that we should be. That is all our goal should be, not riches and possessions and because when we leave this world, everything is left behind.
Today was a nice day for me. Not when I say nice, somebody went to Guyana and they brought two parcel of fish for me.
Mm.
And but it really worked inside of me because Radhika, people don't do these things. And so when people do these kind of things for me, it really means a lot. And then what really made me more emotional in the sense that I see on the back say Ken.
Oh,
So they brought this
so
from
you know it
Guyana.
is
It
from
was
you.
coming, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That
continue,
isn't. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
That is really
And you're gonna
nice.
eat. I don't know if I'm gonna. You have to break your fast tonight, but we have gilbaka curry,
Ooh.
and it tastes nice. And you got okra inside too, and saijan.
Oh.
So what I want to
Mm.
encourage people to do is continue to be great, to be kind, to be good, and it doesn't mean you have to give $1 million, two
Exactly.
dollars.
Sometimes a smile softes, or just a helping hand. What somebody think. Sometimes you throw away things that somebody else need. If you know somebody needs something, let's do that. Let's get it.
Akash Prasad, a very good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much. It's
Mhm.
good to have you on. And Anjani said the right thing. There is so much jealousy and envy. And I tell your mom all the time that I am getting away, I'm staying away from anything that's where you cause a lot of, where I have to compete with my friends for
Mhm.
their friendship, where I have to explain myself, where I have to show and outdo people. No, I'm not going to do that. I want any friends that I have, I must just be myself. And that's what matters. I am not, if I find out somebody's jealous of me, you gone like a hot potato. If I see that you is not in my corner, I'm gonna let you go because the truth of the matter is, like I tell you all the time, we have to be able to, and you're a star in your own right. Let us, like, we could be bad by our own selves. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Let's get rid of the negativity. A kind word, like every day, when you see me say good morning on Facebook, I am choosing the words that I put out there. I just don't get up in the morning and say, I'm going to say good morning. I am sharing my good morning with love and compassion. And
Mhm.
I'm looking at a flyer that says something nice that would resonate with you to
A
become a great
positive
soul.
message.
And that's
Mhm.
all.
Mhm.
May not be a lot of words, and I smile
Mhm.
sometimes when I get some of them. So, on that note, we talk a lot.
We
Radhika,
talked a lot. It's time to say our bye and tune in next week at 8:30. We will be on again from our house with Radhika and Ken. Will you be on Sunday? Oh,
no,
you're away, and
I
you will be away.
I before radio, I'm a guy who was judging birds and doing different things with birds.
Hmm.
So on Friday, I'll be heading to North Carolina. I'll be making a 10-hour drive to North Carolina. So I'll be driving back to New York on Sunday morning. So we will have a show on Monday night, but Sunday I'll be too tired, or I'll be still driving to New York.
Hmm.
On that note, have a great night, everyone, and be good to each other.
Good night. God bless your hearts.
Wait,
And
somebody, let's
mhm.
read what Pandit says. I
Uh-huh.
like Pandit. Pandit knows a lot. Go. You want to read?
Good point, but in my humble opinion, there should be no level of confusion to prevent a child or children to care for their parents. When we were baby, we created havoc with the home, crying nonstop at midnight hours, wanted special meals, throwing up all hours of the daylight, and list could go on and on. Yet our parents sacrificed their happiness for the child or the children's well-being. How can we forget all of the above when old age hits them and they can't remember or sometimes aren't even aware of what they're saying? In Hinduism, we live by the motto Matri Devi Bhava, Pitra Deva Bhava.
Wow.
Our mother and father are our earthly God. Never forget, oh, never forget that they brought us into this world. Sometimes that's priceless and we will never be able to pay back.
And
That's
beautiful. And I want to say I was so impressed by Pandit Mom's. You know what she said, and I would never forget that. She prayed for her son every day.
oh,
And that was a
that's
profound statement she
yeah.
made there.
Mm.
And as parents, let us start to pray for our children every day rather than badmouth them, rather than talk bad about them. And I understand, Pandit, and that's why we got to love each other and respect each other. I'm sorry my mother passed away at a young age. I didn't get to, I used to when I was a kid, Mataji, when I was a thing, I used to go play with my mother hair like this. I used to go the back of her hair. My mother had long hair,
Mm.
and I used to go. I was the only son then. I used to go and plait her. I could plait
Ah.
hair.
Mm.
I used to go the back of her and sit on her like a little monkey, and plait her hair, and play with my
Wow.
mother face
Mm-hmm.
and all kind of thing. My dad used to jealous of me and my mom
Mm-hmm.
because I used to play with her mouth and all these. I don't know where I get all this thing from, but my mother felt my love. You know what I'm saying?
And for that, you got to be satisfied
Oh
that
yeah.
you were able to show her that love
Oh yeah,
before
I,
she
I
went on.
show love. I show everybody who I love. I you see, those who I love, I say it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a bad habit too. Those who I don't like, I stay away from them. Probably I need to.
I need to say yes. You used to braid her hair.
I used to comb them here and so.
Mhm.
I was the only boy in my house at that time.
Okay,
You know,
that's cool.
yeah,
That's cool.
I grew up and
Hmm.
tell my mother I love her and all these kind of things. My mother was a special lady anyway, despite she beat us so bad. But anyway,
My
on that,
mom beat us, but I would never change her for anybody else, you know.
exactly so. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, do have a pleasant
Hmm.
evening and thank you so much for watching our show.
Hmm.
I pray for family and friends. Yes. All right
Hmm.
then. Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everyone. God bless your hearts
And she always said the vital organs by
and
I don't
all
know.
your other vital parts.
All right. Good night, everyone.